Judge Thomas and Professor Hill appear in your committee at the same time so that the American public and the world will see which one of these people is telling the truth?
It's an interesting prospect to call both of them together at the same time, and it's something worth considering. Under our system, though, you can't force anybody to do anything unless they're actually under subpoena and testifying. But I think it's something to be considered.
Sounds like a very interesting idea, because then the people could really see and look at these people and see which one is telling the truth.
Well, a credibility question is always a very difficult one. But I think that as the testimony unfolds this afternoon, and we take a close look at what Professor Hill said yesterday, I think there are going to be some very solid indicators of her lack of credibility. And I refer specifically to her testimony yesterday morning that she didn't know anything about the USA report that the Senate staffer said if she came forward and allegations were made, that the nominee might withdraw. And later in the day, and I'll be developing this afternoon, she changed her testimony flat out. And I think there's another very big indicator of credibility on the question of why she moved from the Department of Education to EEOC. And I'll be developing that testimony this afternoon, that when she said she feared she couldn't stay, or thought she couldn't stay in education, that's flat out wrong, and she knew it at the time.
Do you think so?
And on the question of documentation, where she said she was fearful that he might take some action against her, and she did not document these alleged outrageous statements, but she did document her work assignments. There are a whole series of very concrete indicators on credibility, which I'm going to be developing today. The whole process is very complex from a point of view of how fast it's all gone. This has come upon us in the course of a very short period of time. And I'm reading a transcript from yesterday overnight to see how we proceed today. This is a highly unusual proceeding to try to move ahead with the questioning of a witness.
Senator Specter, I don't believe she's telling the truth.
I'm saying that flat out. I think that her credibility has been demolished.
Senator Specter,
I will say more than that within the hearing room in a very specific and concrete context after quoting her testimony directly. In the hearing room, I'll use stronger language than demolish.
Why is that, Senator? Why do you think her credibility has been demolished?
I think her credibility has been demolished because under oath yesterday morning, she said that she knew nothing about a staffer's representation that Thomas could be compelled to withdraw or would withdraw if she came forward. And in the afternoon, in answering another question in another context, she slipped in, well, Bruni said he might withdraw. And then I pursued her on that, and she flat out said that it was true that a Senate staffer had said if you go through with the process that Thomas would withdraw. And then she tried to dodge around on the word allegation in the USA Today story as contrasted with process. And you will see some, when you take a look at the transcript and what we'll develop this afternoon, a very flat-out demolition of her credibility. And there's more. There's a lot more on what she said yesterday. It doesn't really come through unless you sit down and analyze it.
It's all a lie. Everything she's saying up there is a lie, Senator.
Well, Vernon, I said that her credibility has been flat out demolished, and I will pursue it further.
Senator, do you think there's a chance that Miss Hill is interested, or was interested in the judge, therefore that she is a spurned woman, she didn't get anywhere, and therefore this is a factor?
Well, I don't know that you can conclude that she was a spurned woman. That's something that I want to find out more about, and it's really hard to develop it because I haven't had a chance to sit down and talk to witnesses to see what the background circumstances are, and I'm trying to do that. The issue of motivation is very difficult, and we're trying to work with that, and there are a couple of lines. We have compressed. Listen, the Senate voted on Tuesday to send us back to hearings. And I was on my way to New York on Wednesday when Senator Thurman asked me to undertake this questioning. So Wednesday night late, and Thursday I started to work on it. If you have a matter as complex as this in litigation, you'd be working on it for 6 months and taking 400 depositions and answering 35,000 interrogatories to find out what the case was about. Here we're trying to cram it into a thimble.
Senator